What's up, guys? This is Ash with Legacy Barbecue, and today we're doing a holiday treat. We are doing an eggnog bourbon bread pudding, and we're going to do it on the smoker. So let's get started. I want to show you how we're going to do it. So first off, you want to take some bread. This is French bread. It's my favorite to use. You can use brioche. You can really use any kind of bread you want, but you want to make sure you use something that's got a nice crust on it. And French bread's got a nice crust on it. That's my preference, but use what you got. You can get these things for like $1 at Walmart. Not expensive. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut my loaf in half, cut into thirds, and now I just want to cube it up. All right, so decent sized chunks. You want to use a decent enough chunk that you know you're going to soak up all that good custard that we're going to pour over top of this stuff. Get them all roughly about the same size. They don't have to be same size. All right, so we've got our bread all cut up into nice sized cubes. Now what we want to do is start making a custard. All right, so I want to show you how we do that. This is the hardest part of this recipe, and it's super easy. So what I want to do is start out with 1 stick of butter down in my pan. Get that melting. I've got about half a cup of sugar. I got about a half a cup of brown sugar. I've got about two tablespoons, somewhere in there of cinnamon and some nutmeg. All right, just a little bit, just something to add some flavors. We're gonna dump all that in. All right, now while our brown sugar and our sugar and our butter and all our spices are kind of melting down, I'm gonna go ahead and beat 3 eggs. All right, get them good and beat. We're gonna go in with about 2 1/4 cup of eggnog. Get all that eggnog out of there. And we're going to put our eggs in. That's the hardest part of this recipe. Now all you got to do is stir. Now, you're going to want to make this the day before, if at all possible, but at least I'd say maybe 2 hours before you want to start cooking it. The reason is you want to make sure your bread has enough time to soak in all this custard. You could do it at the time of you know, just dump it in there and put it right in if you're on a real big time crunch, but it's going to make your bread more toasty. All right, guys, so our custard's been come up to a good simmer for now for a couple of minutes. We want to go ahead and finish it off, get it on the bread. I want to add about 2 tablespoons, I'd say, maybe a tablespoon of vanilla. And the star of the show, it's Christmas, why not? Throw a little bit of Eagle Rare bourbon in here, right? So we're gonna crack that open. Pour a good shot of bourbon. It's the holidays. I mean, you know, we could do the cheap stuff, but you know, it's Christmas. All right, so we're gonna incorporate that into our custard, kind of give it a good stir, and we're gonna get to pouring this on our bread. Want to keep it on just long enough that you get the bourbon, you know, at least some of the alcohol burn out of it. All right, that is smelling some kind of delicious. We're gonna take our pan, bread. We're just going to dump it in. just like that. Kind of want to leave the bread as much as you can without mushing it. I like to finish mine with just a little bit of cinnamon right over top of it. That's your choice. You could put some raisins down in here if you wanted to. It would be delicious. There's so many different things you can add. Make it yours. But we're gonna call this good for now. We're gonna put some aluminum foil over it, put it in the refrigerator overnight, and we'll pick back up in the morning, Christmas Day, and we'll be ready to eat. We're gonna finish this on the Traeger at 350 degrees, and it's gonna be amazing. This is gonna be one of the best Christmas breakfasts that you've ever had. If you make it, your family's gonna request it every year, and you're probably gonna have them standing in line. All right, guys, we're back. Our bread pudding sat overnight. Before we get it on the smoker, I want to make the sauce for it. So we're going to make a brown butter bourbon sauce, right? It's going to be delicious. If you've never had a brown butter, it is just so delicious. When you add the bourbon into the mix, it just kicks it up a notch. So to get things started, I want to take my butter. I got half a stick here, right? And I want to put it down into my pan, right? I want to keep a close eye on it because I don't want the butter to burn, but I want it to cook enough to where it's going to start to separate the fat and cook away the oily part, basically, of the butter, and leave behind that nutty, buttery flavor. All right, so we're just going to let this melt down a little bit, turn our heat up a little bit. All right, so I've got my butter coming up to a boil here, and you just want to kind of stir it around. Now, after just a couple of minutes, I'd say, you're going to notice this butter starting to change colors. It's going to go from this golden yellow butter looking color to a brown color. It's not burnt. That's what you call brown butter. It's going to be a nutty, buttery flavor that's just so delicious. That's going to be the base that you'll see a lot of people use for roux and stuff like that. You can start to see our butter taking on a brown color, and it's pretty instantaneous. It's going to go and it's going to have like a brown color. That's all those fat particles and everything just kind of burning off, and it turns it this beautiful color. All right, I would normally let it go for about another minute or two, but I'm going to spare you the time. We're going to go ahead and add our brown sugar in. I've got about a teaspoon or so of cinnamon and a teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm going to throw down in there too. Start mixing that together. Get it off the bottom of the pan, get it mixed into that butter good. All right, and I'm going to take about 1.5 cups of our eggnog. That's about right. Just start mixing. Ready? All right, guys, our sauce is starting to simmer. I want to go ahead and add about 1 tablespoon of flour down into it, just to thicken it up a little bit. Get that stirred in. It's going to want to clump, so you're going to have to stir and stir and stir and stir and stir. Get all the clumps out. All right, I'm starting to get all this flour worked in. We want to just let it kind of do its thing, like hang out for a little bit and thicken up. We're going to check on our bread pudding. I've got the bread pudding on the smoker right now at 350 degrees. It's going to take about 45 minutes to an hour. All right. got it out. We let it sit overnight, soak up all that custardy goodness of the eggnog and the bourbon and cinnamon flavors. And this sauce is just going to take it over the edge. My sauce is starting to thick up now. I want to go ahead and add some more bourbon, right? It's been the star of the show. It's been in everything we've done so far. So I want to add a good another shot of bourbon. Bourbon's going to cook out while this is thickening up. We're going to go check on our bread pudding. Bread pudding's been on for about 45 minutes now, and that's starting to look nice. That's just what you want to see. A little bit of toastiness right here on top. It's feeling really nice. It's got a little bit of jiggle to it. We're going to call this done. We're going to go ahead and pull it off of the smoker, get our sauce finished up, and I'm going to show you what a plate of this looks like. It's been about an hour at 350 degrees. We're going to take that off, and man, does this smell amazing. So I'm going to show you how we would finish this off on Christmas morning. You're just going to want to go in and get a big nice scoop of this and put it right on a plate. All right, just like this. I promise you that's not enough, but we're going to start out with that. They're going to be back for seconds. We're going to take our brown butter bourbon sauce that we made up with that eggnog. We're just going to give it a good drizzle right over top of that. And that is how you make one of the most incredible bread puddings for Christmas time that you will ever have. The people are going to be lined up for this one, I'm telling you folks. It's amazing. Is it healthy? No, but it's the one time of year. It's Christmas. Come on, splurge a little bit. Quick and easy. You won't find any easier for Christmas morning, I can tell you that. So there you have it, folks. Eggnog bread pudding with a brown bourbon butter sauce.